welcome to Let's Get It, the Atheist Roundtable. Toss the mic, tell us what's good tonight. Yeah, get this man a goddamn cam so we can plan to crush tonight. It's murder. It was the case they gave him. Even Jesus couldn't save him. He believes he'll slay him. Murdershed Steve got these theists on their fucking knees. Ask T Jump where the Murdershed be. Where the Murdershed be.
Chop it up.
Why you asking all these questions? What are you suggesting? Why am I second guessing? Then GSEB surgically removing these hypotheses. Yeah, and get out the way. Get out the way. This kid don't play. If you got a God, I'd call him. If you got a book, I'd hide him. Just Jeff. Question so hard, they'll punch you in the chest. For the best bet, invest in a bulletproof vest. Oz, Ozzy, kamikaze. Run the track back and attack what we lack. Stand back, I unpack the counter attack. And the comeback, the sad sack. They should've never said that. Said that. And faith is bullshit, as a matter of fact.
Which faith is bullshit.
Man, we're going down on a deep dive.
Which faith is bullshit.
Hey, somebody mute Oz.
Which faith is bullshit. Which faith is bullshit. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Atheist Roundtable TART Live Show. I'm Oz, Ben G.
Hey.
Ben G. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. I've been sitting at home for a good part of the week. I've been on quarantine. I was in contact with a live case. Luckily, I came back negative, so I've been enjoying some time at home.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're feeling well, I assume. By that,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel great.
Good. Yeah, I had a busy day myself today. I got up at was it 6:30 this morning, 7, whatever it was, and jumped on the atheist pastors stream this morning, and so I started very, very early for me, and then we celebrated birthdays and Christmases and all that today. I think it's my wife and I, Tia, was it 4 or 5 out of our kids all have their birthdays in December along with Christmas. So it's little bananas.
You didn't forget mine coming up, right?
When's that?
It's the day after Jesus.
When's that?
You know what? I'll have to consult my history books, but it is coming up. I'll let you know when it's coming up.
Well, actually, so the 26th is what I assume you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Just today, I confirmed on your birthday. On your birthday, we're going to have Dr. Josh and Seamus coming on, and they're going to talk about Dr. Josh's reasons for walking away from faith and leaving the faith. So great plug. So happy birthday.
Thank you. And you know, I did just purchase his book, and so hopefully by then I'll have gotten a chance to finish the thing. Oh yeah, there it is.
This one?
Yeah, did the Old Testament endorse slavery? Yeah, I'll be reading that over the next couple of weeks. Mine's on my reading desk downstairs. So,
yeah, obviously we're all big fans of Dr. Josh, but no. So we have that one, and then a couple of other ones that I'll make sure that everybody is aware of coming up. Well, tomorrow night we have Greg coming on, and Greg has called into our live call-in shows, and he's an awesome guy. And I'm really excited to talk to him. He's a Christian as well, and we'll be chopping up with him tomorrow night. And then on the 23rd of January, so you have plenty of time to put in your calendar and plan for it. We're going to have Godless Engineer. We're going to have Jason from Dragons and Genesis podcast, and then we're going to have our Captain Dadpool as part of that show as well. So it's going to be a six member panel. So that'll be on the atheist side. Then we're going to have the alternate media gentleman and Pastor John. Pastor John will be on screen, and they are going to discuss who is Jesus. So not was Jesus divine or anything like that. That's a whole nother conversation. But historically, who is or was Jesus? And that's something that I've been put a lot of time into lately studying. And I'm really excited about that because there's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge on that topic coming on. So
I bet I'll learn a thing or two. I'll definitely be tuning in.
Yeah. I will very, very selfishly be taking tons of notes, during that one, for sure. So yeah, those are just a couple. If you go to tart.live, everything's in the calendar. You can check it out there. I think we've booked another. I think it's about 10 or 11 shows just here this week for the next month or so. So go check that out. And then the last thing I'll plug in before we bring in our much anticipated guest for the evening is we want to make sure there's a certain website, a clothing store that we've partnered with to help promote their brand, and they're helping to promote ours, and that is secularshop.com. And a couple of the hats that you see behind me, the Logic and the Skeptic hat, those are from their website, and there's tons of great stuff on there, whether it's apparel, coffee mugs, stickers, that kind of thing. Go check them out. Good people, great product. But Ben, are you excited for our guest tonight?
I am super excited. It's always something great when you get to demonstrate a productive conversation with somebody who you don't quite understand, or maybe you don't see things quite eye to eye. And so my goal in every conversation that I try to have is to reach at least a mutual understanding if we don't come to see things the same way. If we at least don't agree, at least we understand. So that's hopefully we get there tonight.
And I think we will, and even backstage, we were able to talk, and I think it'll be a good conversation. And before we do segment in our guest, I do want to apologize to everybody that was in the chat room that waited for us very patiently for about a half hour to get everything started. We're here, we're live, and let's enjoy the show. And remember, put all the chats in there. We'll have a Q&A at the end. And super chats are activated, and Ben will make sure you know that, because he's a dog at calling that out. So Ben, let's do it. Biff, what's up, man?
Good evening. How we doing, young man?
I'm doing good. I was starting to get a little concerned that either Biff and or God didn't understand technology, but I think we got to take care of.
Well, we know I need help with technology. That's for sure.
It's all good. Better late than never, right? So before we get into beliefs and convictions and all that, Biff, the one thing I like to do is just to get to know people. That's something that I've heard you say that as well. So really, you and I talking, I just want myself and everybody listening right now to get to know Biff, and kind of where you come from, that sort of thing. So first of all, tell us about you. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you not do? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? That kind of thing.
Born and raised in Waterbury, Connecticut, USA. Pretty much ran the earliest part of my childhood, only weighing 145 pounds, and was pretty much on the defense, having to pretty much cover the bases, so to speak. And everybody wants to try to beat up on the little guy. Well, this little guy learned how to, do fisticuffs and hands on hands very, very well. And if one-on-one wasn't it, it was 2-on-1, if not 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Let's just say growing up in the projects on welfare with a mother, raising three children, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, even though my nickname is Biff. I didn't get it the easy way. And then
And if I can, I wanted to, because I think I do remember you sharing some of the story, but obviously your given name is Steve.
right.
Where did Biff? How did Biff come along? Where did Biff come from?
Biff came along from when I moved from an inner city to a suburb. Everybody who was a freshman on a bus got biffed in the head. It's kind of like a noogie, kind of like an initiation. And so everybody would get biffed, and they're like, okay, all the freshmen got biffed. And then they looked over at me and they were like, well, who is that cat? He don't look familiar. Oh, he's from the city. Well, he's got to get initiated again. He's got to get biffed again. So then they biffed me in the head again, and they thought it was funny. Then they thought it was funny. They called themselves the Roll and Drive Gang. Then every morning they thought it'd be funny to just biff me in the head. And when I got to high school, they'd say, see you later, Biff, rubbing the salt in the wound. And everybody was like, oh, that's what they call you? I'm like, yep. They're like, well, how'd you get the nickname? Don't worry about it. It's a long story. And then Biff had to go home at 145 pounds and start working out and pumping iron until he can stand up against the Roll and Drive Gang. And then when I had enough courage to stand up against them and snap on them like a lion, roar! They're like, dude, calm down. It's okay. All you had to do is tell us to stop beating on your head and we would have stopped. Yeah, that always works out well for bullies. Excuse me, fellas, will you stop beating on my head? Yeah, that always goes over well.
So
that's when I was 145 pounds. The funniest part is I bumped into them after being 200 pounds solid rock, and they look at me and they're like, yo, dude, you don't hold that shit against us, right? We're good. I'm like, yeah, we're all good. It's all fun and games.
That's what boys do.
That's just the hardships of part of man's endeavors. Where my life takes a change and a different approach from many of your basic other people. Like if any of your followers out there believe in ghosts and stuff like that, they'll know who Ed and Lorraine Warren are. But anyhow, we'll back it up to when I was 4 years old. When I was 4 years old, I used to see what people call as a sensitive. One of my gifts is being called a sensitive. I see things through multiple realms, multiple firmaments, connect through places that other people dare not go. So I would see the dark shadow people, and I would just climb on the top bunk bed and tell my mother to tuck me in tight. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yep. Just tuck me in tight. You sure you're okay? Yep. Tuck me in tight. She's like, you realize you got a bottom bunk? I'm like, yep. Tuck me in tight. So my defense mechanism at 4 years old was basically picking up elephants in a circus. So every night I would put myself to sleep. I would pick up elephants, letting the spiritual realm world know you can't fuck with me. I'm the strongest kid in the world. I'm picking up elephants. Well, that was working out so good till I was in upstate New York at about 6 years old. And I took a flag off a cemetery and I brought it home with me. And I went to sleep. And in my sleep came a grumpy voice. You stole something that doesn't belong to you. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't steal. You stole my flag. I'm like, oh, shit. How the hell does this freaking thing know that I took a flag? I'm dreaming. I'm sleeping. I'm like, okay, I'll bring it back. Next night, you didn't bring my flag back. I'm like, holy shit, what the hell is going on here? This was my first dealing with the other side in the afterlife. So I'm like, I'm just a little kid. I don't drive. Maybe we'll come up this weekend. Next night, you didn't bring my flag back. I'm like, it's not the weekend and I don't drive. I told you. Well, long story short, it was the longest 2 weeks of my freaking life. By the end of the second weekend, I was bawling like a little kid, which I was a little kid, in my dreams going, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your flag. I don't drive and I don't know when we're going back. And he stopped harassing me or bothering me from the other side.
Hey, Real quick, I want to jump in. The super chats. We always want to make sure we jump in and give these people acknowledgement. So, real quick, Eddie put $5 towards the channel. Thank you, Eddie. The Puma shirt is Cap. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All day, all day. But if I could, Biff, I do want to ask a question. I may or may not have seen a video where you had a couple, 2 or maybe 3 gentlemen try to jump you at a bar, and there's security camera footage that shows that you went like you did some like some Chuck Norris type shit.
Well,
and sir, is up.
For starters, I had a broken hand and a soft cast with wires in my right hand. So I tried to let these characters know that if they want to dance, we can dance on another day when I was all better. But they didn't want to go that route. The very first individual, the real huge one that walked up to me, he was broke up with the bartender months earlier. And when they were broke up, she took me home. So when he had walked into the bar, he was kind of like, I know you had my girl. Why don't you tell me she was tight? And I'm like, dude, that shit was freaking 6 months ago. You work together. If you got a problem, we can take care of this when we're better. So he went down the other end of the bar. He's stewing in his beer. That's when he sent freaking Magilla Gorilla up to fuck with me. And when Magilla Gorilla was up there, you can see me pull my beer off to the right-hand side so he can't use the beer. I show him my hand again. He gives me a smack upside the face. I talk to his big boy, and I'm like, look, why don't you keep your boy away from me? I'm trying to do a good job. I like you're doing a hell of a good job. And that's when he said, get him. And then the boy grabbed me, ripped me off the bar stool. And if you literally go to count, you literally won't get past 1,001. And I'll already be on top. Got the guy's head between my legs, grabbed his freaking belt buckle, and lassoed him in, using my elbow to work my way down his spine to break each and every rib. And that's when it's almost comical that the big guy first puts his arms up in the air like, everybody stay out of this here. My buddy's got it. And then his head drops to the side like, well, maybe my buddy don't got this. And then he freaking clocks me. And then I'm like, oh, shit. Then he tried to clock me the second time, but I saw that coming. I ducked, and he freaking whipped it and hit the ground. And that's when he started to do a football drive with my head with his knee. So it ended up being 3-on-1, but they couldn't knock this stubborn head out. I got a blockhead.
Yeah, I saw that video, and whether you're a theist, atheist, or a spiritualist, as you refer to yourself, any human being that can take 3 people at once like that, I thought that was pretty formidable, and as a now in the past a fighter, I appreciate that. I appreciate the grind. But here's what I want to do. Biff, I kind of let you know. You already know what the what the format looks like with our show, and we want to have deep conversations. We also like to have fun and laugh. Obviously, hopefully you're seeing that so far. We do want to offer both to you as a guest and for our viewers. So what I want to do now is bring Ben G on, and he's going to chop it up with you a little bit. And so far, thanks, Biff, for the conversation again. Thanks for jumping on with us, and I'll get Ben G on here with you right now.
I made it. How are you, Biff?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited to speak with you. I got a chance to flip through a few of your YouTube videos that are out there, and I'm sure there's some great starting places. If you don't mind, could you kind of like maybe spell out some of the differences that you may have, like when you hear the term atheist? Where do you misalign with that, or what does that bring to you, or what do you believe that makes you not an atheist?
When I hear the word atheist, it's just to me, I just see someone who doesn't believe in that which they can't understand, because they can't put numbers, sense, or visions to it, therefore cannot exist in their mind. So it's just that they just they need tangible proof in order to believe. It's like how it's odd. So I don't waste a lot of time with arguing with atheists. I respect them. Hopefully they respect me. If any have any questions for me, I'm happy to do all I can do. The ones that get belligerent and out of line, I'd like to have a drink with them. No, only kidding. So I like, with my philosophy, I love all and give all open chances. I love people who are at least don't have blinders on. So even though that they don't believe in certain things, their mind is at least open to say, well, help me out here. Help me with some kind of understanding that I don't see, or something that I'm missing or I can't see. It's almost like you can't see air falling through your fingers, although as you take your hands and you press them upwards, if you open your fingers and your fingers are wet, you'll feel the cold air whistling through your fingers. So you'll know that the air is passing through, even though you can't see it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100. There's a lot of things already that I think you and I agree on, like things like loving people, right? Regardless of what they believe. So I don't necessarily believe that a God exists, but I still think it's important to love people and to give everybody like a fair shake. I guess I'm interested. You mentioned like that atheists have like blinders on. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Did I say atheists have blinders on, or did I say it didn't appear you had blinders on?
I'm not sure. I guess I was wondering what you meant by,
all right.
Like, do atheists require more evidence for things, or is that like a form of putting on a blinder?
We all have blinders on to a form.
Okay.
All right. So none of us is all knowing.
Okay.
So because none of us is all knowing, we all in one way, form, or another have some form of hindrance. You can call it blinders, you can call it hindrance, you can call it a bucket over your head, you can call it whatever you want to label it, terminology. I like to use terminology to try to give a visual. So when I use the term blinders, it's saying that people are more univision and they're looking more in front of them and straight ahead, versus trying to open up their mind more to a peripheral vision of things that they might not normally see. Okay. So when I use the term blinders haphazardly, I'm not going to use it for only atheists have blinders on, or only this person have blinders.
Well, then maybe that's not really worth going into. I guess really the nature of my question, I really want to find out, where do we differ? I want to find something that maybe we see things from two different angles. What's an example of a belief that you hold that you think that maybe I, as an atheist, do not hold?
Unlike other people, I have had the luckily-ness to be able to see with my own eyes and to hear with my own ears.
What was it that you saw or heard that
I've seen Jesus at the foot of my bed.
Okay.
I've seen the Shroud of Turin, which was the face that Jesus has on the Shroud of Turin, appear at the side of my bed 3 times in a row. Now, these are both while awake. I have what's called awakened visions and sleeping visions. I used to not hold my sleeping visions with as much credibility until they started coming on to fruition on TV. Then I kind of started holding my sleeping visions with a lot more credibility.
Now, why shouldn't me as an atheist, why wouldn't I accept that you've seen Jesus at the foot of your bed, that you've seen the Shroud of Turin 3 times in a row? Why wouldn't I believe that?
I didn't say that you would, did you?
Okay. No, I guess I'm still trying to understand where maybe we differ. Help me out. Because I'm with you right now.
Right. So, all right. So, with a lot of this stuff that took place with me, like, well, from the time I was 4 years old, I've been what's known as a sensitive. As I got older, things got more intense. At the age of 28, I had Ed and Lorraine Warren come to my restaurant. So I'm in their archives in what they call their museum. I'm under Prospect Restaurant. So it was Ed and Lorraine Warren that let me know that I'm a sensitive. And I was like, I know I'm sensitive. And they're like, yeah, no, not sensitive, us sensitive. Do you see things? And I was like, you don't run around telling people you're seeing things. That was at the age of 28. You know, fast forward to 2010, the gift of healing kicked in. And then fast forward to 2011, I got a bunch of audibles and visuals. And after that, I mean, I went to news channels, newspapers, news places. They all looked at me like I was on drugs. You know, what kind of drugs are you on? What are you doing? You think you're trying to understand me. Can you imagine these people looking at me like, please step away from the door, sir?
Yeah. I want to thank the Atheist Mom and Atheist Chico down there. Thank you for the super stickers. That's a good reminder that if everybody, we are going to have a Q&A session later. If you want to make sure that the murderous one catches note of that, you can leave a super chat.
There are different people that walk different paths that pray to different gods. So this much, I used to think that it was hocus pocus that shit would hit the fan when there's full moon nights. And then as my gifts started to increase and my eyes started to be a little bit more observant, I was actually able to tell when the human vessels were manifested by things from other realms. And that's some cool shit to be able to call them out, because that kind of like freaks the things out that are on the human vessels. They'll freak out like, how do you know I'm here? Who sent you? You want to talk about, you know, a supernatural getting paranoid. Who sent you?
Well, I guess are you saying at this point that you've been able to share? Because I think I was with you all the way up to, so like you saw Jesus at the foot of your bed, that you're a sensitive, that you've been recognized by an organization as a person who's sensitive to something. I'm still not sure I follow exactly where, and now you're saying that you're able to like share.
So have you followed? So you followed a little bit of my YouTube, right? How many videos on there have you watched?
Oh, like 5 or 6, not very many.
All right, 5 or 6. All right. So out of the 5 or 6, did you watch ones that were healing videos? Were they cleansing videos? Were they connecting people directly to the other side videos?
I saw a couple where you were interviewing people after you shared the gifts with them, and I was kind of unclear on what that meant. But then you were interviewing them, I guess, on how they felt after their experience, and they seemed to have experienced something with you. So I thought that was maybe interesting. Well,
it should usually I title them trifecta. A trifecta will be usually a cleansing, a healing, and connecting to the other side. So the latest gift of mine to open up a little over 2 years ago is literally opening up the gates of heaven. So first you have to remove negative attachments that would be on the vessel, and then you directly connect people to their loved ones on the other side, where they get to see, talk to, and receive messages from them. Now, this isn't me saying, hey, I feel someone coming through with the name of with the name of S, and it feels like a male figure. No, you get to see and talk to and connect to your loved ones directly. Now, I was just telling you guys earlier that I've been knocked off my ass for about the past 14 days. So the episode that I took on 2 weeks ago was with a gentleman with 4-stage cancer who's pretty much on his way out the door. And he just wanted to make sure that his vessel was clear if he was going to exit this playing field. So
I want to make sure I understand what you mean. You've used the word vessel several times. What is that?
Your body.
Okay. Are you saying that there's something other than the body?
Your soul.
Okay. That would be something that maybe we could look into. So I don't know if I believe souls exist. For instance, as far as I can tell, everything that makes me is material or can be altered through material means. Could we maybe go down that road a little bit?
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt because I am very interested, but we are on like a little bit of a time constraint.
Right. So basically, you know, they say you have a spirit. They say you have a soul. Okay. Now they say whatever one you feed is the one that's going to dominate, and this is where you get your good and your bad, or your good and your evil. So now this is going to be it's fun for you because
I'm down. So, I'm open. I
want
to believe true things. So if you've got it, let's go.
It would be very, very nice if it was just you and just a vessel that's just a blank spaceship with no feelings or emotions. You would at least like to admit that you have feelings and emotions, right?
Let's see. As far as I can tell, I can manipulate my feelings and emotions through material means. Like, for instance, I can drink alcohol and I might feel euphoric for a little bit, or it might enhance my depression or something like that. Or I can take anxiety medication, reduce my anxieties, or people do that. As far as I can tell, feelings and emotions are still material.
So here comes the fun part that you can't see.
Okay.
So the fun part that you can't see, while you're having fun with playing around with your emotions, if your emotions get overwhelming on you and it's woe is me, I have physical loss or I have physical pain, there are things that go bump in the night that want to manifest itself on you, to gravitate to you, to indulge in that pain that you so want to feed them with.
I'm not sure if I'm following, because you used a lot of vague terms there, and I'm not entirely sure. I guess I'm trying to pinpoint, is the soul...
You have a wound on your flesh, and a sucker just grabbed onto it, and is sucking blood.
I'm not sure how does that relate to souls?
Because now you're going to remove that sucker, you're going to remove that cut, and there's something now attached onto your soul that you don't have. You're saying you don't have a soul. So how am I supposed to get you to understand a soul that you don't have? So, all right. So
I'm not saying that I don't have one. I'm sure if souls exist, if I could be convinced that souls exist, I'm sure that I would have one, right? If that was the explanation for how my brain works, if it was like, oh, there's a something that's not material in there at work, I'm sure I would have one.
So why don't we start with something that you do believe? You don't believe you have a soul. So how am I even supposed to help you when you're sitting there? You're basically like a computer floppy disk that's empty, but you won't allow anything to write on it.
What do you mean that I'm empty? Like if I'm a computer disk that's empty, what do you mean?
You're like a computer empty floppy disk, but you won't allow anything to write on your hard drive.
Are you comparing the brain to a floppy disk or a hard disk?
I'm comparing any part of you that you want.
Because I think there's a valid analogy.
Do you have a brain? We might be able to start there. Do you have a brain?
I hope so. Yeah, I haven't seen it for myself, but everything that I know about how human bodies work says that I've got one in there.
All right. Well, if you know you have a brain, right,
Mhm.
Let's see where we can even start. I would almost take it. I don't even smoke weed. I feel like I gotta smoke weed to communicate to you.
Oh no. Maybe you would like it.
All right. So you acknowledge at least that you have a brain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So do you ever talk to yourself inside of your brain?
Ooh, so this is an interesting phenomenon where some people have an internal monologue and they can hear their own voice in their head, and some
Yes.
people are able to converse with that. My understanding of people who practice meditation, in fact, the whole practice of meditation is becoming aware when a thought appears in your head. And so that's a whole area in like Eastern philosophy where they have also recognized this idea that words
Can
will
you do? Can you do that?
Can I have a conversation with myself in my head?
Can you? In the side of your head, just go, "Hello." Inside of your head, just go. Did you hear yourself say hello?
Yeah, I got it. You know, there's
See
this
that?
whole, so I'm a musician, and actually, this guy, you might like this. I think his name is Howard Gordon. He created this whole word called audiation. It's the being able to hear a sound in your head before you make it on your instrument, and that's like a really good way to become or to practice your instrument. Is like before you go to sleep, practicing the music that you're working on. It's called audiation, and so as far as I'm aware, that might be the same part of the brain where that happens. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just trying to find some way to have you realize that whether or not you have a soul or not.
Let me ask you, what
It,
convinced you that?
the concept sounds like totally vague to you to have a
I'll be
soul.
completely honest that I don't understand it. Let me ask you, how did you come to believe that a soul exists?
How did I come to believe that a soul exists? Well, I've come to the realization that it exists when I found out that my wife had a multiple personality disorder and my body literally separated and fell out of my body, hit the floor, bounced once, came back up, went back into my body, and reconnected and wobbled me.
Your body literally separated.
Literally separated. I also do astral projecting. So there's another way of separating your body. Have you ever tried astral projecting?
No, I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of it?
I feel like maybe I've heard the term. I've never looked into it
Out of body experiences. So you've never had an out of body
Oh,
and
I've,
out of
I've
body
heard of that.
experience.
Sure.
All right. So I used to do that all the time when I was younger. I don't do it as much these days as I used to. I used to
Could I do
travel
that?
all around.
Could I astro project, or could I fall out of my body and observe my body from outside?
Yes, you can.
Okay. How does one go about doing that for themselves?
Well, when you go to sleep, first off, you have to understand the difference between your sleeping realm and your awake realm. You have to be very, very cognizant of it. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
I have not, but is a lot of this dependent on being close to sleep?
Sleep paralysis does. Doing astral projecting does. Yeah, because you're going to go into your different realms of your different sleep realms.
Now, let me ask, have you looked like what would experts in sleep and like sleep paralysis and out of body experiences, what would they say like clinically is happening? Maybe are you aware of any of like the studies that have been done on the brain?
Oh yeah, I'm aware of what they want to say.
Well,
Or what they do say. What they try to say is that it's your body getting ready to go from one sleep realm into the other, or coming out of it and waking up, and your mind hasn't truly gotten the oxygen to wake up yet. And that's one of the things that they acquire to sleep paralysis. But me, I analyze everything. I am so super analytical, it isn't even funny.
yeah.
So then after about 8 sleep paralysis, I decided finally, instead of just fighting through it and getting up, was to reach behind me to grab this damn succubus and make it show itself. Whoa. dude. Yeah, dude.
Hey, Biff. Thank you so much for this chunk of the show. It is, unfortunately, we're coming to a close on our segment. I hope you've enjoyed it. I practice this thing called street epistemology, which is all about understanding how people came to believe the things they do. So if you get a chance, check that out. But without further ado, I'm going to let Oz take this thing back.
What up, Biff?
What's happening, Oz?
Feeling good, man. How you feeling so far?
Under the weather, man. Under the weather. Still trying to come out of a 14-day tailspin. I'm actually drinking a plop plop fizz fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
And what I want to kind of start to open up the dialogue for going in the last stretch of the show here is, we've talked a little bit about, where you're from and, the more day-to-day fun things. And Ben always does a great job of just talking about, more of the simplistic, what do you believe? How did you get there? That sort of thing. But the one thing for those that have had a chance to check out your YouTube, which I'll let you plug at the end, but in the description, all the links are there, and people can check that. Go check out your content, your material there. But you are a very proud and vocal activist when it comes to healings. And a lot of the things that I've seen is dealing with people that have attachments or, from the, not saying this is how you define it, but coming from an evangelical belief and charismatic belief attachments would be spirits, devils, demons, those kind of things. And you even talk about exorcisms. So there's a lot to unpack and unfold there. So I only have one question, and then I'm going to bring Kay on, and she's going to chop it up with you a little bit. I guess when did you know, Biff? When did you know, and how did you know that you carried the gift or the gifts to be able to heal people and to touch their body and see them healed and recover and made whole?
I just lost all the cameras. Are you still able to see me?
Well, I see your logo and I can hear your voice, but there should be a little button at the bottom says stop cam. You should be able to tap that.
All right. Freaking nothing's happening here. Camera settings, audio, camera. All right. So we somehow lost the picture. So you can't see me at all.
Do you see on the screen, is there an option that says cam/mic?
No. All it says is a little picture of a house, a picture of a lock that looks like it's locked. It says StreamYard. Underneath it says settings. Then it says camera. Then it says audio.
Okay. All right. So we'll
try that. Here we go. I got something. How we doing? What the heck? Now I just clicked on. What the heck? It's clicking on and off on me. Like my phone is getting hot or something. All right. Can you see me?
Well, we have your face as far as the logo is concerned. So as long as we can hear you, that's the most important part right now. Oh, there you go. There you go. I see you.
What the heck? All right. So the healing started in 2010. I thought it was a one and done on a girl with 4-stage cancer. It started firing off in my hands like Pop Rocks candy. And then the second one, I just took a hold of a gentleman's hand with Parkinson's disease. Didn't realize it was going to stop all of the symptoms. And then the third one was a girl with a painful cyst under her armpit. And then it's just been going on and on and on and on and on. And now I go to holistic events. I pay a few $100s to set up, and I share the gifts for free. and whack out anywhere between 5 and 20 in a day.
Okay. So 5 to 20 healings in a day. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
All right.
Beautiful stuff.
And so in Biff's literature that he carries around with him says, once he got over, I think it was 1,000 or whatever, he lost, lost count of the healings or the miracles, whatever you want to call them, and
well, if you can't explain them, I guess they're called miracles. Anything that you can't explain.
Right, and that's what I said. I want to make sure I specified. So what I want to do is bring in Kay, and she's going to talk with you a couple minutes and kind of start to go down that path as far as, like I said, miracles, healings. Even I know you've talked to people that have lost loved ones, that you've connected them with people that are now gone, that sort of thing. So we want to start to dig into that because I think that's one of the very important and very interesting topics. So I'll bring in Kay and let's do it.
Hi. Oh, is it just me? Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
We lost him. So as soon as he jumps back in.
Oh no! I'm so excited. This is really so interesting to me. And while we're waiting for him, I'll just go into, after I started deconverting and deconstructing, I kind of got into spiritualism, and because I didn't want to let go of the supernatural, in a way, because it is very comforting, that maybe it's not the Christian all-powerful, all-knowing God, but there's some higher power out there, and I can see my loved ones again or explore the cosmos. Like, how awesome would that be? So I'm just super excited about this topic, and to maybe just maybe talk to my passed on loved ones.
Yeah, and I truly hope that you if it's real,
That's what I'm saying.
I hope you get to.
I really want it to be real. I really do, because that would be cool. Like Ben said, I want to believe true things over anything. So, I'm super, super excited.
How many healings have been verified by medical professionals? Are there reports, medical journal write-ups, anything? Sean, great fucking question. And when he's back on, we will be sure to ask that one. And he just jumped back on. So there he is. And Biff, if you could, yeah, there you go. There you go. So I'll let you and Kay chat, and I'll get back with you guys here in a second.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I was just telling Oz when you hopped off for a little bit that
It kicked me off. I had to try to find a way to get back on.
Well, you're here now, so yay.
Yay.
So I'm super, super excited for this conversation and that you're on the show. This is super exciting to me because I find all of this like super, super interesting. A little bit of my background, I came from Islam, then Christianity, if I could talk, to evangelical Christianity. And once I started deconstructing and deconverting, I still held on to spiritualism. So for a moment there, I did identify with a lot of what you were talking with Ben about. And so I just find it super interesting. And I want it to be true. I really do, because how awesome would that be if I could, see my loved ones again, or explore the cosmos and learn everything there is to know. I really want that to be true. I just, as of right now, I just couldn't really, connect that bridge from like wanting to believe it's true to actually fully believing that it's true. So I guess my first, question for you is, Something for me that was difficult to wrap my mind around was learning the powerful effects of the placebo effect, which is where, the brain has this crazy ability to believe something, even though it's not actually happening, but make it happen in physical reality. So they can see it with brain scans, someone giving, a placebo pill, but their pain in their brain actually goes down, and the pain and the placebo effect, where those two things reside, are actually in the same part of the brain. So I guess my question for you is, do you know about the placebo effect? Do you find that has any bearings on healings or anything like that?
Of course, I know about the placebo effect, and I don't use any placebo effect. Matter of fact, one thing that I find so amazing is when I was set up at a holistic event, there's dozens of other vendors that are set up, and this one lady is got all sorts of different degrees in medical fields, and one of the apparatuses she uses has hundreds of little brass receptors in the shape of a hand. And so she was watching me do my thing, and just was letting me do my thing. And evidently she had somebody go on her little machine. She plugged them in, let her machine do its reading. It did an aura reading. So it does a whole aura spectral reading with all the energies. Then she sent them over to me without telling me she was sending them over to me. And she had them do what she called a reading. So I don't even like the term reading. And she used, when she put her thing together, it should be in my YouTube forte. It'll just be a picture of, it looks like a mind or something. Actually, it is a mind of a scanning of like a mind. So anyhow, she calls what I connect to source. So different people will call it God, people will call it source, people will call it the creator. So anyhow, she sent this woman over to me for a session, and then she sent that woman back to her to put her hand back on her apparatus again to do another reading on her with her modern technology. And when she was done, her face lit open like a Christmas tree, and she flagged me down from the other side of the room. And she says, I want to show you something. She goes, I wanted to check your gift. She goes, I wanted to see if you were real or not. And she's like, look what happened to my client. I sent my client over to you from a before and an after. And I'm like, can you give that to me for like a Facebook testimony? So it was pretty cool to have this woman use today's technology to show what it had done to enhance this person's chakras. So I used to call what I now call lifting the veil. I used to call it the chakra blast, because it would take everybody's chakras. And so like in my YouTube page, you'll find you'll have to look for a girl. She'll probably look like she's about 24 years old. So she'll be surrounded by a bunch of other girls all her age. So what I had done was, see, I'm like a kid in a candy store with these gifts. So I saw this girl walking through a holistic event with a bunch of books under her arm. And I says, oh, you look like you're pretty in touch with your with yourself. Oh, why, yes, I am. I'm very in tune. Well, you look like maybe you could use a healing. I don't need a healing. I'm very in tune, and there's nothing wrong with me whatsoever. I said, oh. I says, well, then maybe if you're that in tune, you'd be able to tell me what it is you feel with my gifts going through you. So all of her girlfriends were like, are you going to take him up on a challenge? Are you going to take him up on a challenge? So
Right.
here she was. So here she was stuck with all of her girlfriends. They're all like college girls. And she was like, fine, I'll take him up on his challenge. So she's like, what do I do? I'm like, you just sit there. So they just sit there. I say absolutely nothing. I take hold of their hand. I silently pray and connect to my higher power, and shit hits the fan, so to speak. So when all was said and done with, she'll be the video that will be like, Well, first he took hold of my hand, and I felt I didn't have a clue what chakras. This was like chakra 101 with me. She's like, felt like somebody was rubbing my heart chakra, and they were warming it, and it felt really warm and everything. She's like, and then it went down towards my center chakra, and she's like, it exploded, you know. And then she said it went down to some other chakra and did something else. And then she said it went up her body, straight up on an alignment of her chakras, and went to what she called her lighthouse. And then her lighthouse started going around and around and around. And so it's quite impressive to listen. It's quite impressive to listen to people that are on different paths other than my own to explain what it is that's happening for them.
Right. And so I guess what's hard for me to grapple with, right, is that all of those things still have a psychological and scientific explanation that doesn't involve chakras or higher powers or miracle healings, you know? So that's what's hard for me to grapple with. And
all right. How about a little old lady that showed up at the Durham Fair in Connecticut and said, I can't move my shoulder. I had surgery done and I have bone on bone and I can't move it at all. It's nothing but excruciating pain. Will you heal me?
Yeah, it's placebo effect. And also confirmation bias.
I told her it wasn't me doing the healing. Well, how about the girl with 4-stage cancer that was dying of cancer and could no longer take the radiation treatment, that no longer has cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, and I got another one for you that has to do with myself. I snapped my leg in half. I broke my the smaller one is the fibula, and I snapped my ligaments. And the doctor said they were flopping in what they called the gutter. And I'm like, that sounds like roofing talk. I'm like, how long is that going to take to fix? And they says, yeah, it doesn't get fixed. You're going to either need Godiva parts or you're going to need new synthetic parts to connect them back together.
Mm-hmm.
So I laid hands over it, reached up to the heavens, and said, I do not want cadaver parts in my body. When it came time for surgery, there was 3 doctors there. One of them was supposed to do the titanium in my leg, and the other 2 were supposed to do either the Godiva parts or the synthetic parts. And the 3 of them looked back at each other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like the 3 Stooges. And I looked at them and I'm like, well, docs, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the synthetic or is it going to be the Godiva parts? They went back to looking at each other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like the 3 Stooges. Then finally, one of them finally spoke up and said there's no sign of there ever being any damage.
So wait, was this while you were in surgery when they opened up your leg and looked at it?
No.
Okay.
They took an MRI.
Okay.
The MRI showed the bone snapped, showed the ligament snapped.
Mm-hmm.
Days before doing the actual surgery and opening up, we had to do another MRI.
Okay.
To which they had to make sure that everybody knew what positions they were going to do. The titanium rod still had to be put in, but there was no sign of there ever being any ligament damage.
Okay. So was the titanium rod for your actual bone?
Yes.
And the ligaments were the ones that were able to heal?
No, they are not able to heal.
No, I'm saying for you, the ligaments were the ones that.
Yeah. Okay. There was no sign of there ever being any damage, and once those are snapped, they are not able to heal.
Right. And so I don't want to, come at you and be like, well, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, because we could do that, all day long till the sun comes up. Right. So I just was wondering how you could differentiate between.
Well, look at it this way here. I stopped counting after 1,000 miracles. A lot of the ones that are on my YouTube are now friends with me on Facebook.
Okay.
Some of the photos that I have of some of those people are so freaking off the hook, disgusting before we removed the demons that they would not even allow me to put them on Facebook. So
Wow.
I have before and after photos that would blow your mind that I could probably show you in private, but you'd have to promise me you wouldn't screenshot them or
Oh
this,
yeah,
that, and the
no.
other.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. That would be
I mean,
interesting for sure.
I have photos that would it dropped my jaw. I'm sitting there, and this is what I do on the regular. And I'm looking at this one girl I'm doing an exorcism on, and I'm looking at her arm, and I'm like, is that getting purple, or am I seeing things? So I took a screenshot, and you can hear the screenshot. I'm like, oh, hopefully she didn't hear it. And then all of a sudden, the arm started getting blacker, and I take another screenshot, and then it was like all purple, black, and I took the last one. I just continued on with the work, and the photos of what that lady looked like that day versus what she looks like now would be kind of like the Wicked Witch from the West to Cinderella. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, that extreme. And I just told her the other day, about probably 2 weeks ago. I said, you'd one heck of a success story. I said, do you think maybe I can put those photos up anytime soon?
Interesting. So I have another question. So some people are asking about the photos that were before and after that show this, evidence about the exorcisms and stuff. So why would it need to be in private versus not out in the public? Or are they out in public on Facebook or something? Or why would they need to be in private?
If somebody asks me for anonymity or privacy, I obligate them with them. Like
Okay.
even when I go to these holistic events, I used to ask people first if they would let me film them, and almost all of them would be like, no. If I share the gifts first and then ask them to film, if I then ask them to film them, I get a 50-50 shot of yes, because they can't wrap their head around it. And they're so grateful that they're more willing to say, yes, I'll let you take photos or I'll give a video testimonial.
Okay.
So,
and I mean, I find this pretty incredible. But my one reservation or question again is like, why do you personally think there haven't been any, qualitative scientific studies done on like these kinds of exorcisms where you can visibly see like a before and an after and at least be, somewhat pointing to, the supernatural ability to heal people or exorcise demons or entities. So why do you think that is?
Well, I'll tell you my point of view is there's no reason.
Where did he go?
We lost him again. Because we can work miracles in all the areas except for technology, I guess. I
guess so.
But Kay, great job.
Thank you. I wanted to get a little. I know we're on a time crunch, but I was hoping to get into the dead people thing.
Yep.
Is he back? Oh, there he is.
I have no idea why that keeps zipping off.
I don't know.
It's the,
All right, so
it's the power of spirits that be. But Kay, we'll let you get one more question in with Biff. I'll drop off, and then we'll segue into the next bit here.
Okay, I'll try not to go too long because I know we're on a time crunch. But something that I find super interesting and would be your ability to, as you say, open the gates of heaven and connect with loved ones who have passed. So, and I read on your thing that you can do that through photos or virtually. So what is that actually like? And can that happen for someone who's a skeptic like me, even though I'm open-minded to it, not as much as some people who are actually spiritual, but I'm just curious.
So far, these gifts have pretty much worked on 99.9% of anybody who has stood before me with my connection. So that's some pretty good ratings.
Okay.
So to me, it doesn't matter whether you're an atheist, whether you're a believer. Do you have somebody on the other side that you love?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you're on the other side,
Well, all right. Well,
but I've experienced
you have
death.
you have somebody that died that you would love to see again, correct?
Of course.
All right. So this is gonna
Lots of people.
this is
Too many
how comical I am. So I work with many gifted people. So guess who I wanted to speak to?
Who?
Steve. What's the Steve guy's name? That's an atheist that was in the wheelchair.
Stephen Hawkins?
Yeah, Stephen Hawkins. So I got such a sense of humor that I wanted to make sure that I reach out to one of my gifted individuals that can pluck a feather out of a hat and chat with somebody on the other side.
Okay.
First she got mad at me and freaked out at me because she already knew what my intentions were.
Fair enough.
So then 3 months later she finally gave in and made the connection. And he only had one simple sentence. I'm sorry I did not know. And I'm like, that's all he has to say?
Yeah, it seems pretty vague. Just saying.
And she's like, what do you want of us? And then she's yelling at me, what do you want him to write a book? So evidently there's what's called a healing cocoon. And so when people are overwhelmed, to put it lightly, when all of a sudden things open up and it's not quite what they appeared or thought it would be, he had to go into what's called a healing cocoon. And it took him a few months of healing. And evidently he's still somewhat doing a healing, even though he's out of the healing cocoon. He's still morphing, so to speak, from a butterfly into his heavenly creation. But that's just me. I got a sense of humor. I got to go after somebody like Stephen Hawkins.
Right. Well, that is definitely very interesting. And thank you. I would love to chat privately with you. Eventually check out some of your.
Where are you at? Are you in the United States? Where are you at in the United States?
I'm in Baltimore.
Baltimore? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So my gifts do work through video chat. However, I am literally under the weather. I did a serious hands-on cancer, 4-stage cancer 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm still, I don't want to say paying for it because it comes with the territory.
Right.
So let's just say I know what I'm doing. I know better. So I can't say woe is me. I'm I can dish it out. I can take it. I'm just lucky that I didn't get yanked off to the other side. I mean, I was literally floating like I was feeling spirits floating. Like, whoa.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. But thank you so much for your time talking to me. I really enjoyed this conversation. And I think we're going to bring Jeff on, just Jeff, and talk to him a little bit.
It was a pleasure.
I'm so Jeff. No, I just want to say real quick, Biff, thank you again for your time. And I'm getting ready to bring Jeff on. But after Jeff, we're going to go into Q&A with the murderous one, Murdershed Steve. So if you have questions, start putting those into the chat area. And the number one way to make sure that your your questions get asked to Biff or any of us is to use the super chat, because those go and they stay up at the top for much longer. It's easier for us to track those. But everybody's been in the chat so far. We really appreciate it. We've had a great viewership tonight. And again, Biff, thanks for hanging out with us. You've been great so far. Definitely appreciate that. And Kay did that was her first bit, her first solo bit on the Atheist Roundtable. So everybody give a digital YouTube applause to Kay Neves. She was great. So awesome.
She's a sweetheart.
Yep, absolutely. We're very, very excited to have her as part of the team. And now, before we go to Q&A, Biff, I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine, Jeff. And Jeff loves to have fun. He loves to have great conversations. He looks a little weaselly, just so you know. He looks a little weaselly, but he loves to have great conversations. And you guys, you two are going to get along, I think, fabulously. So without further ado, here's my man, Jeff.
Microphone's off.
Hey, Biff.
Hey, how are you, Jeff?
Before we get started, though, I want to thank Oz for that wonderful, caring introduction, which didn't have any sarcasm whatsoever. But how are you feeling? We're almost done. Then we get some fun stuff, the Q&A.
Under the weather, but I've been under the weather for the past 14 days.
Well, who would have seen that coming? But so what like fascinates me with a lot of the faith healing stuff and some of the things I see too is not necessarily the claims that you have, because I see lots of those claims, but there's certain things that I think like there's limited power on or limited ability to adjust that I don't see faith healers able to do. Do you think that there's anything outside of what you're able to do? Like, is there anything just too far gone that you can't work on?
Anything that would fall under that realm would be me hindering myself.
Okay.
So I'll look at somebody in a wheelchair and know that the legs are completely shot and haven't been used for 20 years. And I got to tell myself, that doesn't mean that he can't get up and walk. So I have to constantly tell myself, stop it. Don't let anything hold your own mind thought back. You know,
yeah, so like
I gotta sit here and I gotta walk the walk, and it's like everything is possible through him. And if it's like, well, if that's the case, then I can't limit myself in my own mind. You know, so I have to watch my thought, watch what I tell myself I can or can't do, because it's not me, it's my connection. And therefore, everything is possible, you know?
Yeah. Why do you think that it is that I've never seen an example of an amputee healed with a faith healer?
Because you haven't been to heaven yet.
Well, I'm just saying, like, here on earth, why haven't we seen an amputee healed? Like, why does that seem to be outside of the possibility?
Because your eyes are limited. Your eyes spectrum can only see about 10% of the whole 100% of the ray spectrum. You are aware that your eyes can only see so much in the eye spectrum, correct?
Right. So the amputee healing happens out in a different wavelength of light.
Imagine if it could. Imagine if it's only your mind seeing in 3D, and because you're only seeing it in 3D, that you're not actually seeing anything forming out past that. Like my grandmother was a double amputee, and she can feel her feet itching. So even though her feet weren't there, she still felt the need to itch her feet, to scratch her feet.
Sure. I have a similar thing with my hand. I get this hand has been operated on several times, and I get these like weird sensation because I've lost a lot of the nerve endings in the skin there, so I can't feel the skin on the top. And I'll get these weird, like prickly feeling, like it feels like little needles are being pushed in there. What do you think that is?
Not even gonna freaking begin to say it's evident, it's neuropathy, it's nerves and stuff like that. Like with people with nerves, with you, I love working on people that have neuropathy and nerve problems, because a lot of what goes through my hands is electrical impulses and energies, which rewires shit, which is cool. So I love what I would call rewiring the mind, like PTSD and stuff. I call it cleaning out the cobwebs. So I don't like to label stuff from the neck up mental illness, because it's just something that's just off a little bit. And so when I take hold of people's hands and I silently pray, they'll look at me and say, "Oh my God, I can see." Now, I knew they weren't blind. It's just that their whole focus process somehow straightened out and cleared up. And especially with veterans.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one veteran, like, "I thought you were fucking nuts. I was only appeasing you because you're a fellow soldier." He's like, "But this is crazy. I can see." And he's like, "And you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not blind. I can see." He's like, "But I can focus." And that was a better word for him to use, focus. And so
if I was with you now, let's say that I came for a visit for you and I told you that I was having this neuropathy in my hand, what would you lay hands on me? Like what would that look like? What would the process look like?
Well, I've been able to share these gifts around the world, so you don't even need to see me on hands. But I do love the hands-on, because I get to feel the energy transfer. But for the past, I want to say 6 years, I've been able to share this gift through video around the world, whether it's Africa, Australia, Canada. Yeah, big time. Oh, wow. It's mind-blowing. And even with opening up the gates of heaven and allowing people to see the loved one, able to do this around the world, don't have to be hands-on. So, so with someone with you, with the hands-on, I would take one hand on one side, one hand on the other side, so that this way here, the energy flow is going from one part of the body all the way to the other part of my body and connecting straight through.
Okay. How do you do that is that something that you can do now, like with me, with my hand, that we can try?
We could try. Like I said, I am seriously under the weather.
Sure. Which
one of your hands is tingling?
My left hand. That's the one that has the surgery.
All right. Just face the palm. Watch this here. Just face the palm of your hand right towards the camera. So I can see your whole hand. Back it up towards you a little more. There you go. Right there. Just relax. Take your other hand, place it right up against it like it's flat, like you're putting them just like that. Yep. Just keep them both just like that, nice and flat. Bring your eyes closer to me. Just keep those hands together. Bring your eyes right on mine. Put your eyes right on mine. This camera, the way this, I don't even know how this camera is set up. Just put your eyes right on mine. Can you see my eyes all right? Mm-hmm. Is it all right if I say the Lord's Prayer out loud to you?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Just totally relax. Keep your eyes closed. Let me know if you feel any energy, any popping, anything whatsoever going through your fingertips. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take the hand that's not tingling and try to squeeze, if there's any tingling in the other hand, slowly out, like you're squeezing it out like toothpaste.
It is kind of like creaky. Does that make sense? Like it needs WD-40. I can tell you that relaxing my arm now, it's really nice. Like it feels great.
Take the hand that's not creaky or anything. Take your other hand and just kind of like squeeze the squeaks right out of it, almost like you're squeezing toothpaste out of it. Whichever hand needs the help, take the opposite hand and just squeeze, almost like you're just squeezing the bad oils out of it.
I feel like I'm floating. Yeah, maybe that, when you hold your arm up for a really long time like that and then like let it go, it feels great. But hey, we should go to Q&A here shortly. I'm going to let my hand recover a little and see how I'll give you an update and let you know. We'll go to Murdershed Steve here. He might need your help to get out of a sticky situation every once in a while.
Oh, well, hello, everybody. I have been really excited all day that we were going to have a faith healer on here because, actually, can I get Biff in here with me? Where's Biff? Hey, how's it going?
It's going. How you doing?
I could be better, and that's why I was so excited. Now, I hope Jeff didn't just tap you all out, because I got a couple of problems that you might be able to help me out with. What do you say?
I'm all ears.
All right. So can you help with back problems?
It's not me, but back problems are nothing in the realm of things.
Fair enough. However, I spent a lot of time swinging my axe, and all that twisting really really did a number on my lower back, and it's never really been the same since. Seeing chiropractors and all that, but I figured you might be able to help with that. I also got this little cut on my lip, dealing with one of my constituents, and I was wondering if you could heal that up real quick before anybody sees. Well, I think that's our signal that we should get on to the questions. And I've got one right away from Sean Alexandre, and this one was actually a super chat. I think we can bring everybody else in. How's it going, everybody?
Hey.
Hey.
Well, Biff, we'll have to continue this another day. Sean Alexandre, and this was actually a super chat from a while ago, but Sean Alexandre was wondering how many of these healings have been verified by medical professionals. Are there reports, medical journal write-ups, any kind of peer review that our audience can look into?
He told you about the story about his leg. That was a doctor, Steve.
Yep, you can look right into that one.
Okay.
Already went through it.
And if you're limiting yourself to medical journals and reports, those are some of your blinders.
Right.
Don't you know this?
All the super chats get read.
We don't know that.
Why hasn't he given me a name of a person to St. Jude to go see?
That's right, Eddie. Give us some names.
Have you considered that maybe, like, now that you're aware that there are people at St. Jude who might benefit, would you consider going there and attempting?
Have you tried to go into any hospital?
Yeah, sure. You can get.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I don't
Good
know
for
what
you.
the process looks like.
It's not as simple as you would think.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, I was told it is not your job to heal people. That is not what we're here for. We are only here to console people. Imagine that. This was from a father of a. This was from a father of a Catholic church.
But you could just do it from home or outside the hospital.
And I do. That's
Yeah,
why I
there
stopped
we go.
counting. Why I stopped counting after 1,000 miracles.
Yeah. Next question.
We got another question from Samuel Doolittle. This one was another super chat. If you never heard or read the Bible, would you still believe what you do now?
Well, first off, I didn't read the first time I tried to read the Bible, I got into a few chapters, and God created this and God created that, and God didn't like what that was doing, so he told this to go kill every man, woman, and child, and the animals. Well, they went and they killed every man, woman, and child, but they didn't kill the animals. Boy, so he showed them. I closed the book and said, that can't be my God, and didn't read it. That was back in the early 80s. In the about 2011,
Fair
an
enough.
Audible came off. And the Audible said, I said, how come you don't show me any more visuals or any more Audibles, God? And an Audible came off and said, try reading my book again. And this time, do not judge me. So when I finally decided to pick up the book again and read it without judging, every morning it came to life for me, letting me and showing me the understandings of the readings that I did the night before. That is deep down the rabbit hole stuff.
If Jeffrey Dahmer said, read about my murders and the way that I treated dead bodies, and then said, don't judge me, would you stop judging Jeffrey Dahmer?
Is Jeffrey Dahmer going to be able to talk to me while thousands of miles away without using a telephone?
So is it because you can hear God
if Jeffrey Dahmer can find a way to talk to me, I will be happy to listen to him. Matter of fact, I'm waiting.
Ben, Jeffrey Dahmer's not a god.
But is the fact that you can hear somebody defend themselves after killing people is
you are aware that there are some pretty powerful individuals that can I catch people astral projecting in my room. Are you aware that people can astral project?
Isn't that so? I used to be really into lucid dreaming, and from what I understand, there's not much of a difference between lucid dreaming and astral projecting.
What is I don't know what is astral projecting? I don't know what that is.
My camera disappeared. I got to log off and get back on.
Hello? I still see you.
Well, technical difficulties do not have specific belief systems tied to them. They can definitely happen to all of us.
Fair enough.
Hey guys. When he comes back in, it's
Yep.
go time. It's go time. Okay? It's go time.
But secondly, listen, Ben, Jeffrey Dahmer's not a god. He's not going to be able to talk to you. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is like, is it because he can talk to you, or is it because it's God?
It's because it's God.
Okay. Well, then why are we talking about? Well, the first time I read God's word,
Okay, what is astral projecting? What does this mean?
Okay.
So the claim is that when you astral project, your soul leaves your body and you go into the spiritual realm where you can interact with different spiritual entities. But I did lucid dreaming.
Sure.
And that is your subconscious, trying to stay conscious inside of your subconscious. Kind of. It's really hard to explain. I know that there have been certain studies done on it. It does have some merit. I don't know how deep that merit goes. But that's, for me, I feel like you can, in lucid dreaming, you can make yourself dream what you want to dream.
I had a medication that I took for a while for a appetite stimulant. It was also used as an antidepressant, and it had a side effect of lucid dreaming. And this was when I was like 17 or 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what lucid dreaming was at the time. And like having that experience without any explanation beforehand is definitely something that caught my attention as something that could have been supernatural. But now looking back at it, I now know what lucid dreaming is. And I have very vivid dreams and a very good memory with my dreams. So I do like to partake in sleeping a lot.
Yeah, and I used to do sleep paralysis as well, like on purpose, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some more super chat questions that we got to get to here.
Bring
so
'em
we're
in.
going to move it along. Venny had a question. They believe that their mother is dead, or they're claiming that their mother is dead and has a message for them. Are you able to retrieve messages from people who have passed away?
I don't do what's called invoking, so I don't reach out to them. So basically, I just work with a vessel that's like, I don't know who that person is, so I don't want to say I don't trust them, but I like to work with people that I can see their face, know their sincerity, and know that everything is there. It's kind of like playing with a Ouija board. I don't screw around with things that I know where I'm at. I know my boundaries. I know my strengths. I don't like to be tricked, abused, misused.
Sure.
Just as you guys all have your blinders up and you're like, want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And if you don't, you're going to dig your freaking heels in. Same with me, even though I am already gifted and connected, I still dig my heels in. I don't go outwardly looking for spirits because there's tens of thousands of millions of them floating around. And you want to make sure that
maybe it'll be the right one. Because earlier, didn't you say that you could talk to people from the other side?
I don't talk to people to the other side, no. And I never said that, but that would be a nice try.
And so you're not a medium, is that right?
I don't consider myself a medium, no. Although I am a mediator and I am a medium because I connect you directly to the other side. So therefore, if I connect you directly to the other side, I am mediating.
So if we got Vinny on, would Vinny be able to come on and you'd be able to connect them to their loved one?
Mother, yeah.
I have no idea. Well, first off, I'm going to say I played this game with another site. So basically, it's kind of like you're in a room with our minds are radio wavelengths. Can anybody understand that? ESP, radio wavelengths.
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
So our minds are like ESPs with radio wavelengths. When you have a bunch of people in the same room playing different radio stations, it gets very, very interference, to put it mildly. You can literally have someone trying to come through and get lost in another realm or another radio wavelength. You really don't want to fuck around with that. Excuse my French. You really don't want to mess around with stuff like that. You want to keep your focus with your radio wavelength, with your connection to heaven and who you are directly on the path in which it is you're trying to connect to.
Sure. So we got some more questions here. I wanted to ask Jeff, how's your hand doing?
Pretty good, actually.
Good.
My arm was like starting to fatigue a little bit when I was holding it up for a long time, so it feels kind of nice to relax.
Good.
Normal, I guess.
Eddie Kroom is Eddie Kroom, a friend of ours on the
Crummy.
channel. Crummy?
Yeah, Crummy, Eddie Crummy.
Okay, trolley face. He's wondering if you're able to heal systemic lupus.
One, it's not me doing the healing, it's my connection.
Sure.
Two, my Facebook page is Steve Biff Saunders. My backup page, which is this one to be able to do video, is Biff Saunders. So if he wants to reach out to me, I'd be happy to share my gifts. I do not charge for my gifts. So there's
But you're not making any financial gains off this.
What's that?
You're not trying to make financial gains off of this.
No, I
not at all.
I own a roofing company.
Yeah.
I make my money by putting roofs on people's houses.
You
Now,
just want to help.
You would think that after 1,000 miracles that there would be a line around the globe by now.
Yeah.
I offer $10,000 for somebody to disprove this gift, and nobody want to jump on it. There, my shit went to a blank white screen again.
You're fine. We can still see you.
We can see you.
Oh, no. Okay, bye.
Oh.
Oh,
Actually, my hand kind of hurts now.
Well, we've got a couple more questions that we were going to ask, but I'm thinking that we should probably wrap up the Q&A. I think if he comes back on in a second, we can get to one of them. But I will show.
So wait, so he is a medium, but he's also not a medium.
He can connect you.
Right.
My phone is
Oh, there you
burning up. I think my phone just keeps shutting off because it's burning up.
Getting too hot.
okay.
That happens.
Well, then let's fly through these questions real quick. Atheist Cats wants to know, are you sure that it was astral projection, or do you simply remember the ghost taking Ray's? Oh my gosh. Never mind. I didn't proofread that question before I started reading it.
We love Ken.
Here is a legitimate question. How long did you study how to cold read people? Or did you study to cold read people at all?
I have no idea what cold reading even means.
Okay, fair enough.
I
That
think that's
answers
when
the
you go
question.
in with no information about the person. You go-
Or I think that might be like my understanding is if you go in and it's like, I mean, for example, Biff, do you have anybody important in your life with the letter C? Does that mean anything to you?
I don't play those games.
Right. Yeah, that's my understanding.
yeah. You mentioned the Ouija board earlier, though. Is that a dangerous thing? I own a Ouija board. I've never really done anything with it.
Let's just say don't play with things that you have no knowledge of.
I don't know how taxes work. Can I just skip doing them?
No, that's not.
Well, that's a totally
Just as
different
long
thing.
as you don't do mine.
So I've got kind of an interesting question here. What is a time in life that doubt served you well in maybe detecting deception?
Time in life doubt that served you well in detective. I deal with a lot of gifted people now that I've been extremely open, and I had one Wicca friend who was dying to read my cards, and finally I gave in and allowed her to read the cards. And as she was reading them, I'm like, yeah, that's not right. That's not true. My cards are telling me that that's true. And I'm like, well, you've known me for 15 years. Why don't you ask your cards a question and then you turn them? And then she asked the question and turned the cards, and her cards got tainted. So you have to watch with whatever you're dealing with in life. She got pissed off. She's an extremely well-known psychic medium that also does tarot card readings. And she was pissed to find out that her cards got tainted by what I call the opposition trying to play her. So you have to always keep your guards up. Always. You know, you just can't, especially like with me, I usually only have the gift of sight between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Well, about midnight to 6 a.m. in the morning. And when I say astral projecting, I know other gifted people, and I caught one of them physically at the foot of my bed who threatened that she would astral project. And I told her if she did, I would bag her. And she's like, the hell you will. And I caught her, and I called her out on Facebook. She's a very gifted individual that has a whole location in the whole 9 yards. So there are people out there that are real, and there are people out there that are fake. But I've early on in life, I realized that I couldn't smoke weed because when I was a young teenager and I could smoke, I could hear what I would call the opposition chanting in opposition against me, and that is a trip. And you also don't ever want to hear a banshee scream. I've heard a banshee scream twice, and it is something you do not want to hear. It sounds like someone being skinned alive. It is not a pleasant sound.
Well, I will definitely do the best that I can to avoid banshees for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to run into one of those. But I wanted to say thank you very much for stopping by the Murdershed and answering the questions where answers get questioned.
Looking for a new and challenging opportunity? Do you have previous landscaping, mortuary, or medical experience? Are you available to work flexible hours, including nights and weekends? Are you ready to get involved in a business where you can simply make a killing? If you answered yes to these questions, then the Murdershed Steve Intern Program wants to hear from you. Registration for the 2021 season is now underway. Contact us today for an information package to get you started. Many valuable perks are available for those willing to reach out and grab them. Qualified participants must agree to have street epistemology applied to anything they say.
What's up, everybody? And I lost Biff. We lost Biff. Biff's gone because God doesn't know how to heal technology or internet or all of the above. But anyway, what I want to do real quick is bring this up for everybody to see. Hopefully y'all can see it. Yeah, there we go. So we have the schedule here. So as you can see, this morning, very early, was the Atheist Pastor's Christmas show, like we said. Biff was just on, and then we have Greg tomorrow night, and then Sunday we're working on the debate between Eddie and JT on morality. Hopefully we can make that happen. Sounds like there might have been a hiccup there, but we'll see what we can do to make that happen. And then Monday, we'll dive back into it with Pasta Mike and myself and the crew and get another version of the TART live call-in show. And up here on the 26th, so the day after Jesus, all the Jesus shit, and Benji's birthday, happy birthday, Benji, we're going to have Dr. Josh and Seamus on, and they're going to talk about leaving faith, walking away from faith, and why Dr. Josh decided to, after being in the ministry, being a pastor, to walk away from faith. Another call-in show, and then we'll have Shane. We'll have Shane on. Shane's been a co-host on the Atheist Experience, Truth Wanted, really all the ACA shows, and him and I are going to have a conversation about determinism, which I'm excited about because I've been really looking into that, studying that more and more. And then on January 2nd, another TART Live debate, Does God Exist? And that's going to be the one and only Randolph from Oh Canada. And don't tell me I can't sing, because I can sing. But it'll be him and Zach, a Christian apologist. They'll be having that conversation. We have more in the future, but just want to do a real quick review what's come on here in the next week or two. Lots of stuff upcoming, and I'm actually working on another 2-on-2 debate, to atheists and to Christians on is atheism rational, and that one will be fun. That one will be tons of fun. So looking forward to that, and I'll take that off the screen now. But so that I'm not up here all by myself, I'm gonna add everybody on here because I always feel absolutely crazy.
Out of my kitchen. This dude's astral projected into my kitchen over here.
What the fuck?
Sorry, I was playing with
Out.
Well, you surprised me. I'm glad that I wasn't doing anything weird.
Yep.
Thank you.
Don't worry. I looked down below on all the screens to make sure nobody was like doing stupid shit.
I always knew you liked looking down below, Oz.
Yes,
Deep dives.
especially with you.
Mm.
So excited.
I'll leave my Ouija
Ew.
board on overnight.
I love it.
But thank you guys. Awesome episode tonight, and I wish Biff was here for the final. Thank you, but as ludicrous and nonsensical as all of those things are, I appreciate that he comes on here. He's calm, he's cool, and it's not a shit show. Even though I can't make sense of any of it, I appreciate that he can have a normal.
It wasn't.
Can I do a shameless self promotion real quick?
Ooh.
Since you are a troll, shoot, go ahead.
So inside of the Discord, we're doing a book club.
Never mind. No, go ahead. I'm kidding.
Damn, this is inside of the Discord. We are starting a book club starting in 2021 in January, and the first book for our book club will be "Did the Old Testament Endorse Slavery" by Dr. Josh. So pick up a copy of the book, and we have a structured date and chapter set. So it's like the first 2 chapters by this date, so on and so forth. So that way, and then on Wednesday nights, while other people are meeting for Bible study, we'll be meeting in our book club to discuss what we've read in the chapters of that book. So join the Discord, buy the book, and be involved in the book club. We have many other books to come. I hate you. I hate you all.
No, definitely do that. And if you've not read Dr. Josh's book, there's a reason that most of us either own it or have ordered it, and it's on its way, because it is great material. But and he'll be on here in a couple weeks on the show.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, maybe Oz. Shut up. Maybe Oz can get Dr. Josh to maybe hop in the Discord when we conclude our book to be able to ask the author questions. And I'm sure it'll be a group of 5 or 6 people that actually do this weekly. So it should be a small group. But I think his book is one of the best ones to get started. It's a really easy read. He
Absolutely
really down to earth terms and can take a really large subject matter and bring it down to the common person. It's not super thick. It's not super big. We can read it in a month. No problem.
That's what she said.
Even Ben, who doesn't know how to read.
That was the best look I've seen Ben give so far. That was awesome. But so before we go, we talked about all the shows coming up and everything. All that's exciting. K-Nebs, first of all, I want to ask you did your first solo bit on the Atheist Roundtable tonight. How do you feel?
I feel amazing, energized, maybe healed. I'm just kidding. It was it was super awesome. A great conversation. I wish we were able to go more in depth, but it seems that just from where he was and where I was, we just weren't able to go there without it. I felt some tension,
It was like walking on eggshells.
It was walking on eggshells for sure. Yeah. But even so, it was still an awesome experience. And I'm excited to be able to have these conversations on the Atheist Roundtable. So,
Well, and I will say your first solo encounter on the channel, you're probably not going to get more, out of the box than that conversation.
Mhm.
That's a pretty extreme, a lot of extreme claims. Yeah, you're probably not going to encounter that too much. But what we want to do tonight, and obviously, I want to speak for Pastor Mike as well. That's not here with us tonight. We want to officially welcome K Nevs to the Atheist Roundtable as a normal part of our roster, our crew, our team. We're very, very excited to have you on. So I'm going to put you on the spot because this is where going live. You have to be able to put up or shut up, as they say in the show business. So, Kate, real quick, just maybe a 3-minute thing. Tell them about how you found the Atheist Roundtable and what you're excited about. Anything like that. The floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. So I joined TikTok like everyone else, mostly like during quarantine. And it was really by chance. I think the first atheist TikTok video I saw on my For You page was J Mike, actually, in, I want to say August or September. And he did one of these bits where he's like dressing up as this old timey guy with like this like monocle and a mustache and everything. And he was, talking about like ludicrous beliefs. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I agree with that. And I have been an atheist for a really long time, but I kind of fell away from being involved in any kind of community. And I started following him, and I found Jeff shortly after that, and I would hop in his lives and see like the call-in show that he did. And from there, found the Atheist Roundtable shortly after that. And after seeing everyone in the community make videos, that's what ignited my, passion again. Because for a while I was very outspoken about my atheism, and then I just kind of fell away from it. But seeing you guys talk about it and normalize it gave me what I needed to start making my own videos. And I just became friends with everyone in the community. And I'm so happy to be here and be around the people that have inspired me to talk about my lack of belief in the supernatural. So.
Awesome. And we're excited to have you. Great addition to the team. And Jeff, I know you and I spoke even before K-Nev became a part of the TART team now, and what she has brought as far as value even to the Discord. So before we do a final wrap, what would you have to say as far as the addition to TART and the Discord, or even just the community as a whole? What K-Nev?
I think so. 2021 is coming up, and I think as everybody does when they finish a year, we look for what are we going to do in the next year, or what are we going to plan for. So what I want to see over the next 12 months is the Discord being used as a content creators platform to encourage more people that are maybe on the fence about creating content, or maybe don't know what to do or want to improve their content, to have resources to reach out to us or other people. I have a lot of other atheist content creators that are bigger than us that want to get involved in this as well. Mm-hmm. So we were going to have meetings in the Discord where we kind of group together as atheist content creators and talk about the things and problems we have. We have the entire female segment of atheist content creators that barely exists on TikTok that we need to grow. And those people need a place where they can talk with each other and figure things out and work as a holistic group to encourage each other. And the idea there is to normalize discussion about hard topics like atheism and normalize critical thinking, make it a normal part of society. And we do that by making lots of content. Mm-hmm. So we need to encourage those people that are afraid or don't have the means to make content to make content. So we are meeting in Discord right after this discussion for those that are in the Discord. If not, the link's there. You guys can get in or just shoot me a DM, and we will get you in there. And we're going to talk about what we're going to do next year, how we're going to do that, and how we can encourage each other to make more and also better content.
Great. All that's fucking awesome. But Jeff, tell us what K-Nebs brings to the platform, to the community.
Oh, she's right here.
Oh,
What K-Nebs
stop
brings,
it. That's too nice.
yeah. What K-Nebs
gosh.
brings
I'm
is
here.
the exact opposite of what I have. It's the yin to the yang. So K-Nebs, being a very outspoken, strong female, can help that other segment grow and have someone to look up to that's like them, that can also help build that content. Secondly, she's got more experience about different religions than I do. She's got atheism, she's got Christianity, she's got Islam, so she can cover a wide, and spirituality. That's also something that I don't have any access to, or I don't know what's going on there. So all of that in one package. And also, as we saw tonight, the critical thinking skills, the interview skills, and also being able to ask some really tough questions that didn't really get answered, but we asked, we tried. So that's that. Her and some of the other moderators in the Discord do a lot of work getting people that would not normally use Discord to use Discord, bringing people over from TikTok to Discord that wouldn't normally make that jump. So that's something that I really treasure, because it's not something that anybody else can do. That's something that Kay does.
Yep. And we now know what Jeff treasures. So
myself.
That's what we need to know. And just real quick, for Ethan, Spartan Theology, can Christian content creators ask for help?
Yes. So we have a second segment for Christian content creators that has been made for them to use. I don't manage that by any means, but Spartan, if you're volunteering to help manage that and encourage Christian content creators, then absolutely, I will give you a space for that to happen.
It's two steps. Step one, find a good reason to believe that a God exists. Step two, put that out there.
Talk about it.
Step one.
And
Step three, profit.
Jeff be like Kanye at the award show. Like, hold on. I already know. Look.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I already know. I already know K-Nebs is the best.
Fucking Biff's over here in my kitchen. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. It's difficult, all right?
Let me talk. I know K-Nebs is the best, but let me talk. Let me say what I'm gonna say. And then the last one, I have to throw up just because I've already talked shit to him. I actually did a little freestyle on TikTok about it. Eddie said, "I look up to most people." Yes, you do.
Not me.
Eddie's like 5'3", something like that.
So he's like your height.
No, dude, I'm like 5'10". What are you talking about?
5'1 3/4.
That's pretty long. It's usually the girth you got to worry about.
Oh, look, atheist pastor finally woke up.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
You missed the whole damn show.
Hello, Aussies.
This is one to remember.
After the Christmas show, he woke up. That was a blast. And if you guys don't follow, real quick plug, Atheist Pastor, go follow his channel.
If I wake up tomorrow, my hand hurts.
Awesome.
I'm suing the hell out of that guy.
Yeah, you should. You should.
And if he doesn't accept the lawsuit, that means that he didn't do anything, which means he's lying.
And his real name is Steve Saunders. Like he owns two businesses. He owns a roofing business, which he puts all over the internet. So I'm not doxing him. He puts it all over the interwebs. He has a roofing business and a limo business. So there you go. But
multifaceted.
Yeah.
Those are two things that we need in the future: limos and roofs.
And spiritual healing.
And spiritual healing.
And astral projecting.
Whatever that is.
So now to bring it all the way back around as we wrap, K-Nebs, welcome to the team. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now
you
be
awesome.
part of the atheist. I can't do it like Pasta does it. And I'm not
Atheist round table.
I'm not at all trying to
round table.
mock or anything. Just he does it a certain way, and I can't do it. But welcome to the Atheist Roundtable, and we're glad to have you, guys, gals, everybody. We will do this again tomorrow night. Greg will be our guest, and we'll have a bunch of fun then. And then hopefully we have the debate Sunday night. We'll see we'll see what happens. But for everybody that's been with us tonight, hanging out, doing the super chats, doing all that, we appreciate you. We love you. We're out.
Peace.